Today, we're going to talk about something really important, something that can be incredibly tough. We're going to decode the toxic family dynamic and, even more importantly, figure out how you can protect your own peace.
So, let's just dive right in with a really big question, one that I'm sure hits home for a lot of people. Why is it that family, the one place that is supposed to feel like your safest harbor, sometimes feels like a total war zone?
And let's get one thing totally clear right from the start. If your family is the main source of your stress, it doesn't mean you're difficult, and it certainly doesn't mean you're ungrateful.
What's really going on is that you might be caught up in a really complex psychological cycle. And here's the most important thing to remember through all of this. It is not your fault.
Okay, so where do we even begin with all this? To really understand what's happening, we have to look at the why behind it all. You know, the unseen wounds that are so often driving these difficult behaviors.
There's this concept in psychology called intergenerational trauma. Basically, it's when unhealed wounds and unresolved issues get passed down from one generation to the next. A lot of parents, without ever even realizing it, are carrying around these deep hurts from their own childhoods.
And that often leads to something else, psychological projection. You can think of it like a defense mechanism. They might be taking their own fears, their own sense of failure, their own insecurities, and placing them right onto you. So what's so crucial to get here is that their reactions, they're often not really about you at all. It's more of a reflection of their own internal struggle for safety and control, a struggle that might get triggered by your independence. So, how does this struggle actually show up? Well, the next step is learning how to recognize the patterns. Knowing these specific signs is absolutely key to protecting yourself.
First on the list is gaslighting. Does this sound familiar? Are you constantly being made to doubt your own reality? Maybe you hear things like, "Oh, you're just too sensitive," or a flat out, "That never happened." This is a classic manipulation tactic, and it's designed to make you question your own sanity.
And then there's what's called conditional love. This is that awful feeling that you're only good enough when you're meeting some kind of impossible standard. It's when affection and approval are dangled like a carrot, used as rewards instead of being given freely. And that right there is why just being able to identify these behaviors is so powerful. Simply being able to name what's going on, to think to yourself, that's gaslighting, or, yep, that's conditional love. That's your first real step toward freedom.
Okay, so you can see the patterns. Now what do? Let's get really practical here and build a self-protection toolkit with some actual strategies you can start using right away.
We're going to focus on two really powerful techniques. The first is called the gray rock method, and the second is all about setting emotional boundaries. So let's talk about the gray rock method. It's a pretty fascinating idea. The whole goal is to make yourself as emotionally uninteresting as, well, a plain gray rock. When someone tries to provoke you, you just don't give them that emotional fuel that they're craving.
So how do you actually do that? You keep your answers super brief, really neutral, and kind of non-committal. Simple phrases like, "Okay, I see," or "maybe" can be surprisingly effective at just shutting down a draining interaction.
All right, strategy number 2, setting emotional boundaries. And here's a really important distinction. Boundaries are not about punishing people or trying to shut them out completely. Their one and only purpose is to keep you safe.
So consider this your official permission slip. You have the absolute right to end a conversation that feels harmful. A simple, firm statement like, "I'm not willing to discuss this right now," is an incredibly powerful tool for protecting your energy.
Now, these external strategies are crucial for sure, but the final piece of this puzzle is an internal one.
So let's talk about healing from the inside out by practicing something called detaching with love.
Internal detachment is all about a really profound shift in your mindset. It's that deep, gut-level realization that you are not responsible, and you have never been responsible for fixing your parents' emotions or healing their past trauma.
And I need you to hear this. That is not a selfish act. It's a necessary one. Your primary, number one responsibility has to be to your own well-being and your own mental health.
As we start to wrap this up, I really want you to hold on to this thought. You are not what they say about you. You are not defined by their projections or their criticisms or their version of you.
You are a separate person. You are a whole person, and you are a worthy person, completely and totally independent of anyone else's approval.
So it's more than okay to prioritize your own peace, even if that feels really uncomfortable at first. My question for you is this. After hearing all of this, what is just one small step you can take, starting today, to protect your peace? Just know you really aren't alone on this journey.